As the coronavirus continues to cause chaos and disruption throughout the world, many of us are spending the most time we have ever spent with our husband or wife, likely since those distant, sweet memories of early dating with love, attention, and intimacy. For some couples, this has not been a positive experience. If you are considering or have already decided on getting a divorce, this video is for you. In this video, I will discuss the need for not only a good divorce lawyer, but why a forensic accountant is critical, how some spouses financially plan for divorce by hiding assets, and what you can do to make sure you know and can access the hidden assets. With almost a month and a half in isolation, and I know for some it's more, with your spouse, you may be experiencing constant arguing about things like money, there's too little; screen time, there's too much; housework, it's not being evenly shared; attention and acknowledgement, it's almost non-existent; childcare, it's not being evenly split. And the one that drives my wife insane is my revving up my 8-year-old in the evening just before he's supposed to go to bed. It's no surprise that divorce is increasing and expected to skyrocket. Already, media reports that around the world, separation and divorce is starting to surge as husbands and wives begin emerging from weeks of government-mandated lockdowns intended to stop the spread of the novel coronavirus. And it's frightening that incidents of domestic violence have also multiplied. The trend seems like a doom and gloom warning for couples around the world at different stages of self-isolation at home. And the light at the end of the tunnel of re-socializing is looking more like the first opportunity to escape from a non-functioning marriage. You know, if absence makes the heart grow fonder, the opposite might be true for too much time spent together in close quarters. China, being one of the first countries to open up, is reporting high numbers of divorce filings in early March, which is leading to long backlogs at government offices. In Hunan province, staff members have even reported not having enough time to drink water because so many couples lined up to file, according to a report in mid-March on the city government website. Administrators struggle to keep up processing a record number of applications. Likely, the culmination of trivial matters during lockdown, mixed with anxiety and high stress, led to an escalation in conflicts, and poor communication is likely the primary cause of people's disappointment in marriage and decisions to escape, what some describe as a living hell, eternal damnation, or even worse, having to live with Satan. Divorce lawyers are bracing themselves for what stands to be a tidal wave of broken couples looking to get out of their circumstances as soon as possible. Some family law lawyers are describing the last few weeks of social distancing as the perfect calm before the storm. It's interesting how infidelity used to be the number one reason that divorce lawyers would have attributed as the primary cause of separation. Still, and not surprisingly, affairs are down since you can't leave your home to engage in extramarital activities. If being trapped under the same roof, along with your spouse, and then maybe pile on a kid or two, and pepper it with, at least in some cases, extended family, the pressure cooker is just too much. The more time you spend together, the more you'll hate each other. Let's face it, people need space, not only couples. This applies to everybody. Couples are pointing fingers at each other, accusing them of being the agitator, instigator, or worse, the cancer in the house, and they don't want to endure it. They don't want to endure it themselves or for their children anymore. Coming up, I'm going to tell you 8 most common ways a spouse attempts to hide assets and understate income. This is crucial in your ability to receive what you are entitled to and not get duped out of what should be legally yours. What you learn in this video you will be able to use straight away during your decision making and the divorce process if you choose. So let's go. In recent weeks, more and more unhappily married spouses reach out to me, explaining that as a couple, they have agreed to get a divorce. They need help because they have either never been involved in family finances, are convinced that their spouse has hidden assets, they think their spouse is undervaluing the family business, or they can't understand the financial information provided to them. Many aspects of a divorce can be problematic, especially when it comes to financial issues. One of the primary objectives of a divorce is the division of marital property, and that includes all the assets and debts accumulated during marriage. While an experienced divorce lawyer can significantly help with property division, when it comes to complicated financial matters and hidden assets, a forensic accountant can prove invaluable to your support team. Divorce lawyers will often seek the help of forensic accountants when a specialist is needed in a divorce with a particularly complex or troublesome financial situation. I'm often asked what the threshold or minimum assets are when you should engage a forensic accountant. It's really difficult to put a number on it, but the answer is, if an estate is greater than $750,000, it likely warrants professionals. A forensic accountant can help reveal essential financial information that could affect spousal support, child support, and the division of assets. Although individuals involved in high-asset divorces use forensic accountants more commonly, anyone involved in a divorce with complex financial situations or a family-owned business can benefit. If, for example, you and your spouse share a business, have varied investments, stock options, or otherwise complex finances, a forensic accountant can help. Even more common, financial investments like retirement funds or insurance policies might benefit from review by an experienced forensic accountant. A forensic accountant can help with the following during the separation of assets process. Number 1, looking for hidden assets. Number 2, evaluating lifestyle inconsistencies. Number 3, determining personal expenses. Number 4, taking an inventory of valuables, including art collections, antiques, collectibles, and so on. Number 5, appraising necessary assets and properties. Number 6, helping you assess the long-term financial impact on a variety of divorce settlement scenarios. Coming up, I'm going to not only give you a real-life example of a husband who tried to hide his assets and underreport his income, but ways that you can identify hidden assets right now in your own home. Our firm works with experienced, trustworthy forensic accounting professionals who excel in this field. If your divorce case requires special financial attention, or you worry that your spouse might have hidden assets domestically and even internationally, we have deep experience working in this space and great success in identifying concealed assets, including bank and investment accounts, property, vehicles, and jewelry. If it doesn't make sense what your spouse is telling you about your finances compared to the lifestyle you've been living, this alone may actually be a red flag that assets are being hidden from you. If you have questions regarding complex financial issues that may impact your financial future after divorce, consider adding the services of a forensic accountant to support your team. We understand that it is a difficult time for you and pride ourselves in our ability to provide you attentive, discreet, and timely service. We know that nobody planned or wants to be in this situation, and will work to relieve as much stress as we can, and will work as efficiently and effectively to get you through this unsettling period. To thoroughly assess your assets and full financial situation, your forensic accountant will review tax returns, account and credit card statements, property deeds, investments, stocks, and other essential documents and records. Any unexplained or outlying behaviors will be recorded, analyzed, and investigated for your benefit. In contentious divorces, it is vital to ensure everything named in your marital property inventory has been identified, and secondly, that it is fairly evaluated before division. If your spouse fails to report certain assets to the court, either on purpose or by mistake, it could significantly alter the way your assets are divided, the amount you are entitled to, and how certain divorce settlements are decided. I'm just going to put it into context. I was once approached by a successful dentist who had a practice that included himself, 12 hygienists, and 2 administrators, and all the staff were female. He claimed that his wife was a monster. He told me that she spent his money like water, and whenever she visited the office, which was mostly unannounced, she was aggressive and commanding, and the staff would hide away from her in the basement out of fear. After spending half an hour hearing about the beast, I asked to see their banking records and credit card statements. After all, the numbers always tell the real, true story. From a preliminary review of his wife's credit card statements, I could tell that her favorite stores were not Hermes, Tiffany's, or any other brands you'd find on Rodeo Drive. In fact, she mostly shopped at deeply discounted box stores, clearance shops. She didn't go out to eat at what the dentist described as shishi restaurants. And actually, she preferred to treat herself from time to fast food, and bought groceries at Walmart and Target superstores, and not boutique eateries including Whole Foods, as the dentist had inferred. Finally, we got down to what the dentist really wanted. He wanted me to help him hide his assets. He wanted me to help him reduce his reported income, and he wanted me to be an accomplice into duping his wife out of her equal share that she would be rightfully entitled to. I let the dentist know that it was against my core values and ethical grain to participate in this type of activity, and to keep in mind that if he chose to pursue this plan with a different forensic accountant, that his wife would find someone just like me who would flesh out his indiscretions, and that the courts would financially punish him as a result. So, what can you do to help identify hidden assets? Here are the 8 common methods used by spouses trying to conceal wealth that I promised to give you. Number 1, they purchase items that could easily be overlooked or undervalued. Maybe no one will notice that expensive antique or carpet that's now at his office. Were you wondering why he recently made several significant additions to maybe his coin or stamp or art collection? Number 2, they stash money in safe deposit boxes, somewhere in the house or elsewhere. Think through your spouse's recent habits and activities. Does anything lead you to believe he is hiding assets in actual cash? Number 3, they underreport income on tax returns or financial statements. If it's not reported, it can't be used in economic analysis. Number 4, they overpay taxes, suppliers or creditors. If your spouse overpays, he can later on get a refund after the divorce is final. If you own a business, this is the easiest way to reduce your income and show a hardship in the business, therefore devaluing the company. Number 5, they defer salary, delay signing new contracts, or hold commissions and bonuses. This sneaky trick means that this income won't be recorded in the books during the divorce proceedings. Number 6, they create phony debt. Your spouse can collude with family members or friends to establish phony loans or expenses. Then, he or she can make payments to the family members or friends, knowing that they'll get all the money back after the divorce is final. Number 7, they transfer stock. Your spouse may transfer stock, investment accounts into the name of family members, business partners, or dummy companies. After the divorce is final, the assets can then be transferred back to them. And number 8, they sell assets such as homes, cottages, and jewelries below market costs only to related parties like family members or the new girlfriend or boyfriend, impacting asset value at divorce and recovering the undervalued assets post-divorce. Let's face it, COVID is affecting all of us. You must be on the lookout for sure telltale signs that your spouse has some dirty tricks up their sleeve. And it is essential to make sure you work with a qualified divorce team to help ensure that you have the professional expertise and support required to receive a fair settlement. In many divorces, a lifestyle analysis will be conducted to establish a clear picture of your standard of living during the marriage. Not only can this lifestyle analysis be used to help determine alimony and child support, but it actually also serves as an invaluable tool to help determine if there could be hidden assets or income. The reason is simple. Once you analyze a couple's marital living expenses and connect those expenses to all known sources of income, assets, and loans, it actually is relatively easy to see if there is a mismatch. If the amount of living expenses exceeds the amount of known income, assets, and loans, it's a giant red flag. Discrepancies like this are one telltale sign of concealed income or assets. The goal of lifestyle analysis, in essence, is to determine if the amounts of reported income, assets, and liabilities were sufficient to fund your marital lifestyle. My name is David Melamed, and I am a forensic accounting and investigative expert. To find out more about me and the services we offer, please visit uncoverfraud.com. Thank you, and God bless.